Hello viewers, my name is Shafi. Welcome to this tutorial on building an ETL process using SQL Server Integration Services. In this video, we will extract raw customer data from the CVS file, as you can see on the left on the diagram, by transforming, uh, generating unique IDs, as you can see in the transform section right here. So we will create a SSIS project in Visual Studio. And then here it says 18. So I'm using Visual 2026. And by doing the data conversion and then creating a script component. And, uh, and in this case, we do not require script component. We can do it without script component. Usually, if you do with Excel files, you need script component, and then the result. So each customer row gets the GUID. So currently, if you look on the left side, the CVS file does not have this. A customer CVS file does not have a ID column. So we're going to create an ID, and we transfer this data after transforming it into SQL Server database. As you can see on the right side, so we load it here, and you see in this SQL Server, it's a customers database we are going to create, and it has a customer details table. In this table, we will going to have all this data from CSV file. We're going to have these columns same as from the CSV files, but there's going to be additional column named customer ID, which has a unique identifier generated by the system. This process can be done for not just CSV file, it can be done for Excel or any flat files. So this is extract, transform, load. Why you need this? This solves the critical problem of disconnected, inconsistent, and messy data by consolidating information from multiple sources into a centralized, clean repository. It enables accurate, reliable analytics and faster decision making while automating manual data management tasks and ensuring compliance with data quality standards. The key problems is solved by ETL include data silos and fragmentation, poor data quality and inconsistency, manual and repetitive processes, slow decision making, compliance and regulatory risk, system incompatibilities. So for this project, you need a .csv file and Visual Studio and SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio. I will quickly show you how to download this and install, or where to download from, and then you can just download and follow the instructions from the download. So let me open the browser to show you that. So I have opened up Google Chrome browser in incognito mode. You can use any browser that you like, and then you just search for uh, SQL Server download. And from the list of the menu that from the search, you look for SQL Server downloads link, and you click on that. So this will open a page, and you scroll down where it says SQL Server 2025 Express. As of this recording, this is available for free, and this version is enough for our demo. You just download this and follow the instruction for installation. Once you're done with that, then you go back to your browser search. You need to type for SQL Studio SQL Server Studio Management. SQL Server Management Studio download. So once you type that, you get a list of options. You click on install SQL Server Management Studio, and this link will open up this page, as you can see on the screen. And you scroll down to where it says download SQL Server Management Studio 22 installer. You click on this, download it, and follow the installation instructions. Leave everything to default. So I already have these things, so I'm not downloading this. So you know how to get these tools. And then you need a .csv file. As you can see, in my case, I'm using this data right here as an example. This has 20, 19 rows and a column. The column with names, name, prefix, first name, middle name, last name, gender, short date of week, and email. And there is a heading called customer details. So if you don't have it, uh, I'm intending to share this on the GitHub. So if you see a link down below, just go to GitHub and get this, or you can create your own. Now I will create a database in SQL Server Management Studio. As you can see on the screen, this is the SSMS. And when you open it, you need to connect to the server. So I just click on connect. So database engine. And this is my server name. You will configure this when you download and install. So you just connect. So once you click connect, it will open up on the left side, Object Explorer. You see your databases on your left side. So here, if I click on the database to expand it, I'll see all the databases that's available right now. So I'm going to create a customers database for this demo. So I'll highlight or click on these databases, and then at the top, click on new query. This will open up an editor to type our SQL statements. So over here, I will say create database. I'll name this customers, and I'll execute this query. So this should create a database in here. This command's completed successfully. I'll refresh this database in the Object Explorer, right click and refresh. As you can see, the customers database is created. I will highlight this and I will click on new query on the top. Then this will open the editor that we can send request query statements to this customers database now. So this is to create a table for inside this database. As per our CSV, we can name the database as customer details. So as you can see in the CSV, customer details are just to be meaningful. It looks meaningful. You can name anything you want. Okay, I will write a SQL statement to use customers. So this will be using customers database, and here create a table. So create table customer details, customer underscore details, and in, inside this, I'll create the columns. I'll open and close bracket and semicolon here. And now um, I will have the customer ID, customer underscore ID. This is going to be unique identifier, and it's going to be primary key for us. And this is going to be default new ID, comma. Then another column is first name. So the ID will be auto-generated by the system. First name, this will be varchar. I'm going to add 50. Okay, that's not going to be null. And then the next one is last name, last underscore name, and varchar 50 here, not null. It's going to be comma. The one at the top should be comma too. So I put the colon, I'll remove that, change it to comma. And the next one is email. So we will have email. It's going to be varchar. I'll just assign this 100 for email. So not null. And this is gonna create our columns. I need to fix this spelling. Is F not R. That is why it was giving these errors. And what else? The errors are gone, but I need to change. I'm missing S here. So now I will run this, and this should create a table inside the customers. Execute. And this command's completed successfully. So I'll remove this. Use the select command to make sure the table is created. So select everything from customers, and I'll execute this query. I should see level 16. Okay, it's not customers, it's customer details, our table name, customer details. And now let me execute this. As you can see, the table is created with customer ID, first name, last name, and email. And we will get the data from CSV file and transform that and load it here. So the CSV file data does not have customer ID. It will create unique customer IDs for each customers in the CSV file, and also any additional columns that's in CSV file and it's not here. So that's the goal. So the ETL will automate the process to do this. So let me go back to Visual Studio and show you there. So I launched this my Visual Studio, and we're going to create a new project or solution. I will click on the file at the top left in Visual Studio, and then click New and Project Solution. and this will open up a window like this. So I have that integration service project on the left because I recently created one. But if you don't see on your left, you just go to the search at top and search for integration services. Then you will see uh, the template below. You click on this where it says integration services project. And once you click on that and click next, this will open up a new window where it says configure your new project. And the location, you can leave it default. In my case, I'm going to select this uh, location I have customized. So I'm going to save at this path, and I'll name this project. You can name anything, but uh, it should be meaningful. If you're working in an organization, make sure you have a meaningful name so others can understand. It's more readable. Here, I'm going to name this as ETL because this is the extract, transform, load project. And then I'll just hyphen dash, and I will say we are the source is .csv file. I'll just say CSV. I missed that part. Okay, so this is how I name this projects. Then you, once you're done with that, leave everything as default and create. Click on this create button. Then it will open up a new project with the folder structure. So this is our project. On the right side, you have a solution explorer. Right now, we have only one solution here. And this is the project name. That's the root folder. It's a .dt project. It's a project file. And this is a primary file that defines the project structure, containing information about configuration, settings, and references to all items within this project. And this project params, this is a central file used to manage project parameters, allowing you to assign values to package properties at the project level for easier deployment and management. Now you have connection managers here. This stores files. These manages connections to various data sources like server, flat files, or Excel that can be shared across multiple packages in the project. And then SSIS packages. This contains the actual ETL workflows saved as files. These files house the package definitions, including control flow and data flow tasks. And then you have a package. So this is our name of our project. So this is by default, it says package.dtsx. So I'm going to right click and rename this to something meaningful. I'll rename this as ETL CSV so that it will more readable, and understand that this is ETL project with from source CSV source. So I'll just put in caps ETL. Okay, then it might ask me to. So I say no. It will ask you to select. Do you want to reload it and lose the changes made it in the editor source in the source editor? So I'll click no. The next one is package parts. This is a dedicated to reusable control flow components that can be shared or imported into different packages to reduce redundancy. And the next one is miscellaneous. This folder is a catch-all folder for additional files related to the project, such as SQL scripts, documentation, or sample data files that are not native SSIS components. And then you have linked Azure resources. This is a virtual folder, or node acts as a container for your cloud connections rather than a working file for integration between your local SSIS project and the cloud-based Azure SSIS integration runtime in Azure Data Factory. Uh, if you don't want to wait for this introduction, you can skip forward. Uh, So moving forward, this part in the middle is a permanent design tabs. It has a control flow tab on the left. Uh, this is the primary workspace where you build the packages workflow by dragging and dropping tasks like execute SQL data flow and containers like for each loop from the SSI toolbox right here on the left. So you drag it from there. And the parameters. Next one is data flow. This is activated when you work on a specific data flow task. This tab used to define data sources, transformations like lookups or derived columns, and destinations. Then the next one is parameters. This is used to manage package level parameters that allow you to assign values to properties at execution time without redeploying the package. And you have event handlers. Uh, this is a specialized control flow workspace for building logic that responds to specific events such as errors or task completions. And the last one is uh, this is a package explorer, provides a hierarchical tree style view of every element in the package, including variables, connection managers, and log providers. And if I click on this control flow, this will open up the SSI toolbox here. If you don't see this here while you are in the control flow, uh, you can go to extensions and uh, turn this on to make it visible. So uh, and let me do that for you. So I'll remove this. Now it's gone. So I don't have the toolbox. So if you don't see it, like if your uh, window is like this, you just go to extensions up top and go to SSIS. And here you see SSIS toolbox. Click on that. So you will have that here on your left. And below is the connection managers. So in right now there is no connection managers here. Once I start creating the connections, then you will see the connection managers here. And this is the output window at the bottom, and this is the error list. So let's start with uh, creating this project. So uh, in the control flow, I will drag this data flow task from the toolbox and bring it up here and drag it and drop it here in the control flow. So I will right now it's saying data flow task. I will rename this. You can leave it as it is if you like, but I'll rename it so it's more readable and something meaningful, so others can understand what is this task is. ETL CSV. That's what I'm going to rename this to. Uh, and then I'll just click on this, double click it, so it'll open a data flow. In the data flow, I will create a data source. So in this design tab, I will drag the source. That's a flat file source. We are using flat files. So in the sources, scroll down to the sources. Okay, here under sources, let me scroll down to the sources right here. Just in the sources on the left in the toolbox, I'll select this flat file source and drag it and drop it here. Then I will rename this, or you can keep it as flat file source. So this is it's just saying flat file source. I'll just say CVS source, more specific, CVS source. And I'll just move this to the top on the left here, so it'll be organized. So over here, uh, in this CSV source file, I'll double click it, and need to create a new connection. There are no connections here, so I will click on new. So this will open this window, which is Flat File Connection Manager Editor. Over here, you can describe this connection, give any meaningful name. So I will just say flat file or CSV file connection, to be specific. CSV file connection. And over here, I need to give a path to the file. So I have the path here, and customers.csv. So as you can see, this is my file path. So I copied the file path from here. Now I'm going to copy, and I already pasted. Now I will copy the name. So I'll go back to this and I'll paste it here. So that's the path for the file. And at the headers row right here, I will increase this to 1. This is to escape the headers in my CSV file. There is a header called customer details. So in this CSV file, the one we are using, is you see there is a header at line 1, customer details. So if I say 1, it will skip that. So if you have more than one header, then you can put the number of rows or how many rows that you want to skip. In this case, it's 1, so I mark that as 1. I will leave this column names in first data row as checked, because there is a column name that's our heading. Now go to columns tab, and over here you can see the preview of the CSV file. I'll click OK and OK again. Now you can see the connection, flat file connection is created here in the connection under the connection managers window. Now the next thing is data conversion. So to transform this CVS data. So you need to drag the data conversion from the left side, look for data conversion. This is under common files. So I'll just drag this and drop it here in the canvas. And I'll just bring it align with this. And I will edit this one. Either you can right click and edit, or you can double click on that. So I'll right click, edit, and you will see this message because it doesn't have any properties yet. Just say yes. And as you can see, there is nothing in here. So cancel out this. Go back here in the canvas, select this source file, CSV source file, and drop this blue arrow to this data conversion. And now double click on this to open the editor. So you should have this CVS data, CSV file data in here. So now, as you can see, the data is populated here from the .csv file. Then I'll select the columns first name, last name, and email. So these are the columns that's already there in our database. If you look at the database right here, we have first name, last name, and email, but the customer ID is the system generated. So I'll leave that blank over there and just have these 3 columns selected. So after having those 3 columns selected, you make sure you have the type right here, the string DTSTR. If you use Excel as your source, this could be different. It will be Unicode, something like that. So you just have to change to the string. And the length is 50. So just click OK on this. Now we need a destination to connect this. So on the left side, from under destinations, the other destinations, you will see Ole DB destination. So cancel this. So in the Ole DB destination, I'll just drag this on the canvas and drop it here. I will align this just to look nice. You don't have to align it. So I'll double click on this. It's saying, do you want to continue editing the available properties of this component? Let's click yes. And here, there's no connection. So we need to create a connection. I'll click on new. And over here, I'll select the SQL Express connection. This is the connection from the database that I have it here. So you can find this connection details if you go to your connect in your SQL Server Management Studio. Click the connect option and click on database engine. Then this will open up this window. You will have this server name. While you are creating this SSMS Management Studio, you will have to name this server. So I named this. Usually SQL Express will be by default is appended to your Windows name. So in my case, it is my Windows name is my name, Shafi, and backslash and this SQL Express. So I'll cancel this. Go back to the Visual Studio. So this is already, since I have this server, so this is my name from the SQL Server. If you don't have this, you can configure going to the new and make a new configuration. Since I have it, or you can go to new here. Once you click new, it will open up a connection manager. So this is the connection manager here. And here you will select only DB as of now at the time of recording this 12 access database. So you click on this OK, and then here you will provide the server name. So here you will provide the path to your server. Since I already have it, um, I'm not going to provide this. Or if I didn't have it, then I would have named this as Shafi, which is my name or my machine name, and backward slash. Basically, you can copy paste from, if you don't want to type it to avoid the errors, like you can just get it from this here, right here. You can go to connect like I showed you before. So this is your name. You can just copy this and go back to your Visual Studio and paste it here. And then you just have to click OK. That will create a connection. So I'll cancel out of this since I already have it. I'll click OK. And then you should be able to pull your database from this name of the table or the view section. So if I click on this arrow, the database, the table we created earlier, the customer details table should show up here. You click on that. Once that's done, go to the mappings. On the left side, I click the mappings, and you see this two windows here. So right now, I am seeing the data from the server, SQL database server, SQL Server database, and I don't see the CSV data. So you click OK on this. The reason for that, because we have not connected from conversion right here, data conversion. So drag this green line, the blue arrow, and drop it here to the Ole DB destination. Once that's done, now double click to open the editor, and we should see, go to mappings, and we should see the data. Now there is a data available for mapping between the CSV and to our SQL Server database, the customers database. So the table, we're going to map the fields that's there in a SQL Server database from CVS file. So the email to email, and the last name here, you just click on the last name and the last name here, and drag the line from here to here and connect it. Same thing with the first name. Select the first name here and first name on the left. Both right and left are selected, and drag it and drop the line to connect them. These connections are done. So you can see here, first name to first name, last name, and email are connected. But we need to create so as you can see, the input column is ignored for customer ID, because this will be generated by the system once we execute the project or when we start the project. So here, make sure in the file name, click on that, select the copy of the first name. Everything should be copy of, so the copy of last name, and same thing with the copy of email. So I could have done it from here, but just to show you, I'm doing from here too. So this should be copy of first name, last name, and email, and click OK. Just to be safe, make sure close the CSV file. So I'll close my CSV file. And Then I'll just start this. So on the top, I click start. When it's done successfully, uh, it should give all the check marks, green check marks for all these three components. So what is saying, the file on disk changed, but it's not reload changes. Say no. It's trying to save something. Let me cancel this. Now let me start this again. The file on disk changed but was not reloaded. So the changes on the disk will lost. If the current changes are saved, do you want to overwrite the document on the disk? I'll say yes this time. It started now. So build is complete. As you can see, 0 errors, 0 warnings. You say the success message here saying the package execution completed with success. So now this is done and you see all the green check marks, and we'll go back to our database and see if this got updated. So here's the database. I'll cancel this. And now uh, I'll run this query. So we should have that columns created. Let me run this and we should see in the below, the columns should be added from the CSV, and it should create the IDs for the customers. So I'll say execute. So like I said, so it created all the IDs. This is the system generated IDs. They are unique, and you see all the data from CSV file is uh, populated here. That's good. And now this is created. So uh, if you look at this, uh, we don't have all the columns. We just have the columns we created earlier in this database. If you look at the CSV file, we need these columns like name, prefix, and middle name, initial, gender, short day of week. So these are the few columns that we are missing. So we can fix this issue. Uh, this is not an issue, but I purposely want to show you the difference. So that way you know if you don't map those other columns, it won't populate here or it won't generate here. So let's go back to Visual Studio. I will stop this and open this OLE or OLEDB destination. And over here, I will create a new. Then here you need to mention, so this is already existing for the uh, current implementation. So I'm going to remove this. So since we're going to create a new one, so this one, I pasted it. I already had this uh, copied. So here, I'm going to name this table, a new table, customer details version 2. So this way you can see the difference. In this one, we're trying to achieve that the database create the columns for the missing items from the CSV. I click OK for this. So now we have the version 2 here. Now we need to do the mappings here. So the mappings will be, we're going to prefix the mapping to this one because ID we're going to ignore that because it will be auto generated. For this, we'll create the prefix, and for first name we're going to do the copy of first name as a prefix, and for middle initial we'll do the copy of middle initial, and for the last name we do the copy of last name, and gender we select a copy of gender. Short day of week, select the copy of short day of week, and for email we select the copy of email, and the first name, I missed the first name here, so copy of the first name. What is that? Oh, here I already selected here. I need to change this to prefix, copy of name prefix, and then the first name will be available now here. So copy of first name. So they're all selected. I click OK. Once that's done, I'll start this again. So we should see this database created in our SQL Server database. Wait for this to complete. Now this is completed successfully. Let's go back to database. And now this is going to be a version 2. So underscore version 2. And let me execute the query. Now, as you can see, we have the database created with this, the new database version 2 that has the missing columns because we didn't map earlier. After we map it, we got this. So you have two scenarios. If you just want the columns to be added from CSV to the database, only the columns that you want. So those are the columns you create in your database. In case if you want all the columns, you can either create these columns manually, and then you can map that in Visual Studio, or like I showed you, you can just add your SQL statement in the mappings when you do the connection manager like I showed you earlier, and that will show up here. This is about the video. I hope you learned something, you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. So in this tutorial, we extracted the data from CSV, transformed it by generating unique IDs, and loaded it into SQL Server. That's about it. This is how ETL converts raw data into structured, reliable data systems. Again, thanks for watching.